Welcome to your magic moon message. This is the Peace Dealer, Moon in Capricorn, Sun in Gemini. This is an objectively enlightening transit and vibration, and we will experience the transformative harvest that will change your mindset through your understanding of the physical direction you take your actual body relative to the actualization of your ideas. Because, of course, thinking something is one thing, but being able to integrate your thoughts relative to actions that you take so that every action you are taking is infused with the intention of what you are thinking, this creates more power behind this magical intention setting. And if you were to take that concept and now fully transform the behavioral element of what constitutes how and why you think, you come into a transit like this, that relative to a harvest at this level at 2023 is the mechanics behind which once the moon goes into Aquarius and Pisces, you will legitimately be experiencing the functioning of supernatural abilities as if you updated an application on a phone that gives you new features to the expression of your consciousness. Let's get it. This is a Scorpio transit, all right? The moon is 8th house to the sun in Gemini. And so there's a psychological mind-body connection, the understanding of the body with Capricorn, the awareness of your thoughts with Gemini. So let me tell you how and why this transit is going to be freaking bonkers. The first thing I want to say is, in this war of frames and spiritual ideals, the best way to deal with the psychologically manipulative deception that uses nuances and layers within layers to outright lie in your face, right? Especially given the expression of truth in Gemini, understanding the integrity of when and what to say will enable you to listen to people and really understand their character as someone who is against truth or aligned with truth, okay? Without bringing religion into this and dogma, right? Because we could say only God is good, or this principle of the all, right? And anything created from that is also good and perfect. So the absence of that is probably going to be bad. If that existed as a frequency and a law, then anything that is unaligned with that or against that is evil. We don't have to bring our subjective understanding of good or bad into it. We can just look at it as of the all, of this good frequency of God or evil, right? And this is where, when you deal with deception and people who are evil, right, masquerading and putting on the mask as if, oh no, I'm justifying this with that, you can get into confusing arguments with people who will hide behind rhetoric. So they will argue points that on the surface are right, but hide the nuance behind what you're speaking to, which can make it very frustrating to deal with certain characters. And so here's a way to simplify that. Take away morality out of this. Take away whether something is right or wrong, because only God can judge. So it's not up to us to say that something is right or wrong, right? It's not up to us to judge if people are good or bad. That's between us and whatever collective force or power you acknowledge that does lay claim to your soul, right? We don't have to bring religion, dogma, righteousness, wrongness into this. Let's just talk facts. Whatever is against nature, whatever is not natural, is against truth, that's evil. Whatever is aligned with truth is good. Truth, the objective clarity and logos, not attached to some religion, not attached to some belief on what's right or wrong, just anything that is truth. Your perception of truth is subjective, but truth as it is in itself is objective. And if you want proof of this, right, what everyone thinks air is not going to be the same. That's where truth is subjective, right? Your perception of truth, okay? But truth itself is not subjective. It's objective. Why? Hold your breath. This is where you can ask everyone all over the world what air is to them, and they're not going to give you the same answer. But if you tell everyone to hold their breath, if they hold it long enough, they're going to pass out. They're probably going to die. That's the truth. Can I get an amen? Tap your neighbor on the shoulder and be like, whoo! I don't know. I wanted to say something. Tap your neighbor on the shoulder and say, breath is life. Boom. Because that's objectively true. That's outside people's opinions, identity politics, people wanting to play victim, people wanting to make a proof. Cool. So anything that is aligned with that truth is good. Anything that isn't is unnatural. You're going to see elements of this hidden behind nuance and red herrings and straw men created to excuse unnatural behavior, and then create narratives around this to call you hateful and hurtful, not for judging anyone, but just for calling out facts that something is unnatural. We're not invalidating anything. We're not saying anything is wrong, right? We're saying it is unnatural. So take that concept and put it in everything you face, because taking this understanding of integrity, moon in Capricorn, and your expression of truth, sun in Gemini, is going to enable you in many different ways to see where other people and even yourself may fall short of coming out of alignment of this law of truth, of what is true, of what is natural, okay, of what is real. Perfect. That being said, now that we have understood the ascended vision, the meaning of what world you are creating with your thoughts and your language, what you're telling yourself, what you're telling others, the 8th house 15-degree closing quincunx of the moon 15 degrees, which moon 15 degrees Capricorn is the dark goddess. 15 degrees Capricorn is the dark goddess. So the moon there is going to be channeling that or whatever, right? You don't have to bring that degree, but for those of you who wanted to know, all right. And the sun is going to be 15 degrees Gemini. This 15 degrees Scorpio signature is from 15 degrees to about 17 degrees Aquarius, initiating this psychological transformation of how you take this concept of aligning with what's real and true and transform your behavior through which this alignment being established opens the flood pipeline of literal magic to flow through to you. This collective God power with Capricorn is instrumental with the transformation of your thought process in Gemini, because the vision you understood in Sagittarius induces a change in how you connect this perception to your body's movements. So the mind-body connection from Taurus and Virgo is completed in Capricorn relative to Gemini. Libra will do this socially, but with your individual thought process, Gemini, the supernatural mechanics through which you can understand at a heightened collective level the faculties of your brain and its processing and how you can express that through Gemini enlightenedly, is literally initiating in a few hours. Okay, that 15 degree to 17 degrees Aquarius. By the time it goes into Aquarius, you're understanding the higher knowledge of this truth. And every year we go through, Morgan Freeman was born under this transit and he was God. So like, you know what I mean? Like, they're understanding the knowledge of the truth that relative to this cycle you've uploaded, activated, and integrated. And every download pack is lit every year, but this one's going to be ridiculous. So the moon trine to a recently conjuncted Uranus-Neptune is literally connecting the dots between your brain's recent awakening of processing supernatural mechanics. Especially in Taurus, this is literally having you suddenly understand, seemingly out of nowhere, how to harness natural electrical energy from your body in order to enhance your brain's cognitive function and perhaps convert that into energy kinetically to enhance its physical function. And if that sounds like anime shit, you can blame the failure of your education system for only teaching you 1/3 of anatomy. The sextile to Saturn and Neptune in between the moon and Cap and all this Taurus energy is the metaphysical hidden hand that really takes into part how genius you really are. If many of you knew how genius you were as a being that's not really just physical, you would realize you're nerfing yourself every day, and every day you co-creating in tandem with society dumb yourself down to fit yourself in these expectations that are more imaginary than real, backed by customs and traditions that Pluto and Capricorn has been destroyed. Like, once the retrograde goes back in Capricorn, it's like, oh wow, it really is dead. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, this moon in Capricorn transit is gonna hit Pluto, and before it goes into Aquarius, the trine that has been made to Jupiter and to Uranus and Mercury especially is with the hidden metaphysical sextile of Saturn in Pisces, reinforcing this strengthening of your beliefs to aid in the reality warping potential that now brings into question whether the chicken really came before the egg. I'm trying to be philosophical here though. But realistically, will bring into practical reality understanding of very physical, supernatural, occult dynamics, patterns in actions that reveal causality in instances that will seem a lot more like magic, but is really just advanced science, metaphysical, occult science, really. But it don't look magic, because it is. But because of this mind-body connection, the moon in Capricorn is giving you this God-level understanding of the effects and causality between what you say and what happens. And by the time the moon is in Pisces, where we complete this understanding, you'll experience it. But this transformation in your psychology is going to, at a very practical level, break down how your thought process real time is changing, because you are harvesting the actual quality of your mind magic, the programs and magic spells in your brain that you have effectively worked hard to program. By the time the moon's in Aquarius, the 9th house aspect and trine, you're going to understand the higher knowledge of what it is you harvested. So this is the actual physical crunch time of it. I just can't emphasize enough, the sextile to Neptune and Saturn is what's going to enable you to imagine the process. It's a metaphysical hidden hand that takes into account you are way more genius than you could be aware of, and it's going to release a lot of the nerfing that you may have put yourself under so that you could step into your own unconventional process. Mercury and Uranus in Taurus together at like the 3rd decan is an extra dimensional mechanism of your brain processing that, if you're trying to research through traditional methods, it's like trying to use a calculator to do super complex, but I don't know. It's just stupid. I wouldn't do it. I would just believe in yourself and really enjoy this transformation, because by the time the moon gets into Aquarius and Pisces, will heighten the quality of this of this supernatural understanding. But this is what's going to make it physical. So the moon in Capricorn is you physically feeling the transformation, and it's what's going to make it real before things get supernatural. And y'all stay blessed as always. Godspeed.